So this is gonna be a kind of weird video. This is kind of my attempt to do something with these feelings, get them out and banish them. I'm reading this straight from a script. And the reason for that is I like to talk a lot in the videos and be like authentic and all that crap when I'm talking, but my writing is more concise when I'm trying to explain something, and when I'm trying to talk on a camera off the cuff or just read bullet points or talk to a person directly, it's harder for me to put my thoughts into such a concise point for point kind of a deal. So I wrote this out. I don't have a teleprompter or any of the cool stuff to make this easy to read, so I'm just reading it from my computer. I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see the ominous glare from the computer. But yeah, this video is super scripted. In fact, I'm probably just gonna read it outright, as I just said. It literally says that. Like, I'm reading this like I'm like not the person who wrote it. And I guess I'll do a little commentary on it, so it's a fun video to watch instead of just whatever. I've done so many modalities of prayer and meditation. I've dedicated my life to mental health and spirituality. And in the last 4 years, I've loved so many self-love techniques. I do so much art and learning. I'm obviously not a monk yet, but basically I'm nothing but coping mechanisms. In the last 4 years, I've completely transformed my personality and attachment style. I've changed how I interact with the world and myself, and I'm deeply driven to change my life. But that doesn't change the fact that still, inevitably, at some point in the day, I'm going to realize I'm alone, and that the only feeling I experience at all anymore is loneliness. I'm making this video because I have no one in my life to express this to where I could express this deeply or concisely. And the thing is, what worked for you may not work for everyone. I will say, at some point in my path, I was open to trying everything till I've reached this point where I feel like I have tried everything. Every conversation I have with a person, that person is trying to get me to try something new. I'm going to list a bunch of things, and maybe I'll give you a play-by-play. Writing this, creating this page is one of the 300 things I'm trying to do to transmute these feelings, so we'll start there. And I guess what I was saying is like, maybe one day I'll vlog this out like a day in the life, and give you a play-by-play of how the emotion kind of starts. But I think every human being understands what I'm talking about. How these emotions come up in life. It's just being a human, you have emotions sometimes. My tool is transmutation. I make music, paint, write, and now I make YouTube videos. It's a thing that, due to the lack of intimate relationships in my life, I have no organic emotional outlets, so I have to create them myself. I understand that my friends don't want to hear about any of this, nor do they have the capacity. And as an orphan with no family and 2 failed major relationships in my life, my feelings are basically 99% darkness at all times. The things I'm creating in the present are my only hope for a future. That one day my content reaches someone, or that I'll be able to share my music with the world, or that I'll be able to share my spiritual practice with the lover. Those are my only aspirations in life, and I am without them. Which gets me to my next tool in conflict with the world. Authentic experience. There are needs in my life that I am going without, and I am going without them for a significant period of time. Not only needs like intimacy and human connection, but as I talked about in my last video, which I didn't, and I read the script and reading this, I didn't really talk about the autism a whole bunch. In the last video, like it says, like I talked about in my last video here. But as I talked about in my last video, which I didn't, a life of dealing with autism with absolutely no assistance. That was a weird sentence, but whatever, we're just going to move on. Being forced into situations my whole life I can't mentally adjust to, and having no one to express it to. I'd learned to just bottle everything up. Transmutation and authentic experience have allowed me to face the shadow of my emotions. A big part of that is like the music I make is pretty dark and evil. And I've also kind of learned that like my whole life, I've kind of been told that like my negative emotions are too much, and I get that. But the thing is, and I have those emotions, I can't just not have them because they're inconvenient to other people. And for my own personal healing journey, it has been the most, therapeutic thing to actually face my emotions and feel them and give my emotions space and not just hold them back and pretend it's not happening. I also have a rich relationship with the divine, which is one of the pillars of this page. I pray, I meditate, I dream walk. I've also learned ways to be productive throughout my autistic barriers. Hence why this page and album I'm writing right now can even exist in the first place. I also do breath work, and don't get me started on, you know what, no, let's make this whole episode, let's talk about this whole self-worth thing, since this video is probably pretty long, but whatever, let's see how long. It's not that long yet. So, people say that you have to get comfortable, that I have to get comfortable with myself. And I am, as humanly as I can be. I have all these spiritual practices, art I do, I watch YouTube and movies. I'm trying to build multiple businesses and go back to school. I love myself enough to know I deserve to have the love I give. And it's not just for codependent reasons. I don't share a lot of my self-belief because I've been accused of being a narcissist, but in the interest of explaining how deeply I love myself. A lot of the pain I experience is from the understanding that I know I deserve better than what I have, and at the end of the day, once I've done all the breathing exercises and watched every YouTube video my brain will allow, drawing, painting, working on music and other things, none of it really means anything or feels like anything. And it's not because I don't love myself or I'm not comfortable with myself. It's because my whole life as an autistic orphan estranged from my family, being alone isn't something I need to learn. It's the only thing I've ever learned. And I have tried, and will continue to try everything to enrich my life with solitude. But everything is empty and meaningless because I'm separated from literally the only thing I want in life. And in this place, I get tortured endlessly. And as much as I can frame this as a lesson teaching me something I need to learn for the next stage of my life, it's only useful in the next stage. Right now, there's only pain, and I don't know if this is the only feeling I will ever know, except in fleeting glimpses. That's why I just would prefer to have never existed in the first place. Which all of that is a preamble to my next videos, which are a thing. If you liked this video, which maybe you didn't, and I'm not even being self-deprecating, it was weird. I read it from my thing, but I hope this video still reached someone. But yeah, my next video will be about that, and it's not even about unaliving myself really and all that. It's kind of about my I guess like the dark side of spirituality, and the fact that really when you live a life of torment and or that is, I guess, believe in a beautiful life on the other side, it's a no-brainer, right? Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and stay mindful. Love you guys.